It has come to my attention that not nearly enough is said about the various dog breeds of the Forgotten Realms. These creatures have served mortals, gods, and dragons alike for millennia, and yet their stories are rarely told. Let's fix that. On the world of Toril, home of the continent of Faerûn, dogs are a common sight in the company of many cultures. While some breeds resemble those of Earth, such as the shepherd-like dogs of the Chondathans, never assume that a breed familiar to you exists on Toril. The realms have their own lines, shaped by magic, myth, and centuries of strange companionship. While some general dog types like mastiffs and bloodhounds exist, many common real-world breeds like Dalmatians, Pomeranians, Chihuahuas, and Dachshunds are unknown in Faerûn. Breeds like pugs, huskies, and poodles are explicitly rare. So if we start where I left off in my last video, the wild frontier towns of the far north, the Spine of the World Mountains, and the northern lands of Vasa, Damara, Narfell, and such, snowfall is heavy enough there to make travel by sled dog teams a common method. So to save you a lot of time working it all out, here's the information I included in the silver bestseller ranked sourcebook for 5th edition, Legends of Frozen Far, available now on the DM's Guild and Drive-Thru RPG, packed with info specific to Icewind Dale, Ten Towns, Kaladin's Can, giants and their rune magic, flora, fauna, and exciting new character class options for that region. So how does sled dog teams work in real life, and how do we condense all the info into a couple of useful paragraphs? Settle back, my friend. This is my specialty. It's time to grab yourself a tasty beverage and get deeply nerdy. On Earth, the best sled-pulling breeds are the fast but less robust husky and the heavy-hauling, larger Alaskan Malamute, both descended from the Spitz line. On Faerûn, however, sled teams are far more varied, reflecting the cultures that breed and work them, from Reged men wolf dogs to Rashimi snowhounds, all adapted to the realm's harsher magic and stranger winters. Sled dogs weigh 50 pounds on average, and teams will be similar in size to each other so they can maintain the same gait. Most sled dogs are a mixture of breeds. They're hard-working and require a lot of calories, up to 12,000 per day, eating fish and meat multiple times during the day. Large teams of up to 16 dogs can pull a fully loaded sled at 8 miles per hour, even in grueling conditions of fog, ice, strong winds, and in temperatures as low as minus 40 degrees. The dogs can survive thanks to their thick coats, and sled drivers, or mushers, can provide them with some hay to sleep on top of at night, sleeping close together to share heat. With one musher and their gear in reasonable conditions, sled dogs are hitched up in pairs along the gang line, from the leaders to the swing dogs, to the team dogs, to the wheelers. Many of the dogs can run in any position, including lead, and mushers will rotate their dogs among the positions to avoid repetitive motion injuries, boredom, and fatigue. Short distance, one musher with a pair of good dogs traveling for just one day can hit 15 miles per hour with frequent breaks for food and to check the dog's feet. They can manage 8 hours of travel covering nearly 120 miles. Long distance, one musher with a team of dogs traveling for many days, on average, will travel at 8 miles per hour with frequent breaks for food and to check the dog's feet. They can manage 8 hours of travel covering nearly 64 miles. Travel routes over 1,000 miles can be achieved in about 16 days. I mentioned that other races and cultures have their own breeds of dogs. Here are some of the most well documented. The Elven Hounds, or Kushi. Historically favoured by elves, these swift, intelligent hunting dogs possess keen senses and sometimes even supernatural abilities, such as green fur and the ability to silence foes. The Mind Dogs are kept adept at navigating small spaces, often used by dwarves to detect dangerous creatures or sniff out valuable minerals in mines. Similarly, the Gnomish Trinket Retrievers, canines specifically trained by gnomes to sniff out magic or retrieve lost artifacts. As you would imagine, they are not a large breed. They have quite decorative fur, with swept-back whiskers and flexible hips for rock climbing. Feyhounds are large sighthounds favoured by moon elves, known for their unusually long lifespans and senses touched by the Feywild. They move silently as they lope after the elves on the hunt for game, standing still as archers take aim from the trees. The Gorehound, an aggressive breed developed by orcs for violence and terror tactics, often used to create chaos before an invasion. The temple hounds, common watchdogs for monasteries and temples, often described as black and tan, known for their vigilance. And there are many wild breeds of canines, of course, most of which you'd be familiar with through the various monster manuals. The winter wolf is an intelligent, magical canine species adapted to cold environments, capable of breathing frigid air. They are often allied with frost giants or goblinoids in Arctic regions. The warg, large, intelligent, and evil wolf-like creatures capable of speech. They frequently ally with goblins and orcs, often serving as mounts for these humanoids. And then the dire wolf, much larger and more formidable version of wolves, often found in wilder, more ancient regions. Dog breeds extend across the planes, some of them barely qualifying as dogs, and are alien creatures who really only share the body traits of canines and are not related to or capable of crossbreeding through any but magical or divine means. Blink dogs, an iconic lawful good fae creature known for its innate teleportation ability, allowing it to blink across distances. They're highly intelligent, live in organized packs, and are often hostile to displacer beasts. Death dogs are horrific two-headed brutes whose bite can inflict a venomous disease, causing rotting flesh, often found in evil lairs or associated with dark magic. The hellhound, fiendish canines from the lower planes, recognized by their ability to breathe fire. They serve evil masters such as devils and patrol infernal realms. The shadow mastiff is a creature of darkness originating from the plane of shadow, capable of becoming ethereal and blending with shadows. Their howl can instill fear and create areas of magical blackness. Yeth hounds are ethereal nocturnal hounds often associated with the Shadowfell or fiendish masters. They possess a chilling bay that can instill fear in those who hear it and are sensitive to sunlight. The Hound Archon, technically celestial beings from the upper planes. They can take on dog form. These lawful good warriors appear as dog-headed humanoids or can take the form of celestial dogs. They embody courage and justice. Night hounds are fiendish trackers primarily from the fuming pits. A large variety always spawn from across the lower planes. These hounds are relentless and deadly, employing both the Yugoloth interlopers and the tyrannical Barghests in their massive crawling citadels, prowling across the endless peaks and brutal rocky volcanic slopes of the bleak, red eternity of the fourfold furnaces of Gehenna. Such a lofty title for such a dismal location. Moondog, a celestial companion, typically good aligned with illusionary abilities and intelligence, can project calm and heal allies, sometimes appearing with human-like hands in some lore. Celestial canines come in a variety of forms, a generic term for good aligned planar dog, often summoned via magic from the upper planes, capable of radiant damage. The Dog Lord is a powerful planar entity, an animal lord of the Beastlands, called Krigala, who embodies canine archetypes and commands packs of dogs. The Arcanoloth, again, technically, these are fox-headed fiends. They are consummate black marketeers, traders in rare, dangerous, and often cursed magics. They grow just as rich selling the cures to the hidden nightmares lining the cabinets of their exotic boutiques as anything else. They're masters of disguise and bargaining for souls. The Tugao, or Earth Dog, is an elemental earth canine often found in mountainous regions, rocky ravines, gemstone mines, or temples dedicated to earth deities, of course. They possess rocky hides and burrowing capabilities with clear ties to the elemental plane of earth. In Karatur, the Fu creatures are all associated with the elemental courts and often serve powerful lung dragons. The Ooze Dog, hailing from the para-elemental plane of Ooze, these creatures retain dog-like behavior but possess caustic saliva that can melt flesh, bone, and armor. The Fiery Dogs, or Magma Hounds, possessing fiery hides and resistance to fire. They are similar to Hellhounds but are native to the elemental plane of fire rather than the Nine Hells. They consume burning coals and are intolerant of cold environments. Air Elemental Hounds, related to Jinn and the elemental plane of air, these canines have windy forms, flight, and whirlwind attacks. Their coats are long, swirling mists, and their eyes are gemstone blue. Lightning or quasi-elemental dogs from the quasi-elemental planes. These canines possess electric auras and shock bites, and their speed is legendary. Then we have the Barghest, goblin demon dog tied to the demon lord Yenogu a little bit, but mostly just the native fiends of Gehenna, who loved to be tyrannical overlords, much more dangerous when encountered within the lower planes. Barghest gained power through the consumption of goblin flesh, thanks to an eons-old bargain that went bad. In a rush, use the stat blocks for the Mastiff. The Mastiff is arguably the most common and versatile dog in D&D 5th edition, serving as guard animal, war dog, and mount for small humanoids. In a pinch, just use that stats. Now, something old and something new. From Dragon Magazine issue 190, published in November 1993, the Trollhound. And I quote, "A trollhound looks like a large, ugly warg or direwolf with black pits for eyes. Most trollhounds stand between 4 and 6 feet at the shoulder and bulge with thick muscles and tendons. The skin of a trollhound is a vile mix of violet, grey and green flesh with patches of coarse, spiky black or grey hair. The lips, tongue and teeth of trollhounds are inky black. They always smell of waste, death and decay." Trollhounds don't have stats for 5th edition yet, officially, as far as I'm aware, but they are easy to convert. Finally, of all the different types of dragon, isn't it a bit odd that we don't have a dragon, specifically a dog dragon? There may be the occasional dragon dog, but what if they're a kind of dragon that has many dog-like traits? Head over to my Fourthwall site for the full stat block on the dog dragon, but here is a basic ecological overview for you. Dog dragon, also known as Canine draconis, is sometimes called a hound worm, a scent worm, or a draconic moonhound. These creatures are among the most social and emotionally expressive of all dragonkind. While most dragons are defined by greed or arrogance, the dog dragon's core drive is its pack loyalty, an unbreakable bond to kin and chosen allies. They are lean, muscular beings with dense fur between their scales, wolfish muzzles, and eyes that gleam with both predatory intelligence and unsettling empathy. Their wings are often fur-fringed, and their tails plume like banners, used in both flight and subtle body language communication. Dog dragons possess a highly developed scent-based magic attuned to memory and territory. They perceive not only the odor of things, but also the emotional echoes imprinted within those scents. Rage, sorrow, fear, or joy linger in their perception like colors in the air. This ability allows them to track prey or individuals across miles and even beyond death by the emotional flavor of their scent. When two dog dragons meet, they engage in intricate scent rituals, rubbing muzzles and exhaling vapors and exchanging pheromonal signatures that convey identity, lineage, and fragments of memory. Those who earn a dog dragon's trust may find themselves marked by its breath, the scent curling around them like mist and lingering for weeks as a sign of kinship. The origins of the dog dragon are thought to lie in the ancient lands of Ankarome, far across the trackless sea west of Faerûn. Draconic scholars, such as they are, speculate they arose from the unions between metallic dragons and celestial canines, perhaps moondogs, or even the divine hounds of Selune's host. Legends record in the Codex of Scales and Fur an obscure Candlekeep treatise, describing a lunar brood of dragons who guarded the skies above the continent's northern reaches, guiding mortals and warding against lycanthropic curses. Some sages suggest the first dog dragons were followers of Bahamut, bred to serve as scouts and guardians during the Dawn War. Their loyalty and coordination made them invaluable against Tiamat's hordes. When the conflict ended, they withdrew to distant regions where scent trails endure, cold mountains, windswept plains, and silent tundras beyond mortal reach. By the modern age, around 1500 Dale reckoning, dog dragons have become nearly mythical within Faerûn. Rumours place them in the Karatur hinterlands, the Arctic coasts of Osi, and the green highlands of Ankarome's western plains, where tribes tell of skyhounds that drive away undead and creatures of shadow. A few scholars from the utter east claim that these dragons may even dwell upon Toral's moon, Selune, descending only during eclipses or rare planar convergences to tend ancient scent altars left across the world, if you believe that. Their rarity is a result of several intertwined fates. They reproduce slowly. The loss of an alpha pair can shatter an entire pack, survivors often dying of grief or wandering until they fade. Some dog dragons vanish during lunar events following the scent of the moon, in what may be a literal plan of migration into the celestial reflection of Toral's spirit world. Chromatic dragons despise them, considering pack loyalty a weakness, while metallic dragons tolerate them only distantly, for the dog dragon's communal nature conflicts with their solitary habits. Finally, since the time of troubles, the weakening of divine packs may have severed their ancestral ties to celestial powers, leaving them isolated and fading from mortal lands. An elder dog dragon is a mythical being, of course, older than kingdoms and steeped in centuries of memory. Its scales dull to a matte grey beneath streaks of fur white as frost, and its wings grow vast and ragged. Its muzzle bears whisker-like tendrils of smoke, and its eyes shimmer like moonlit amber. Its breath weapon is no longer fire or frost, but a wave of sound and memory, a howl that can drive mortals mad. Summon spectral packmates from the ethereal, or shatter enchantments like brittle glass. The presence of such an elder being alters the very air, steeping the region in scent and dream. Travellers may relive memories that are not their own, or awaken miles from where they slept, guided through mist by unseen hounds. Even in old age, dog dragons are not solitary. An elder maintains a pack family of up to 6 lesser dragons, adults, wormlings, or allied beasts such as direwolves, griffins, or celestial mastiffs. These are kin, not servants, and each fulfills a social role within the pack. The alpha pair leads with shared thought and scent. Younger hunters patrol land and sky, spreading the elder's mark. Scent keepers, older dragons, maintain memory altars that preserve the essence of fallen kin. Moon pup spirits, ethereal echoes of lost wormlings, sometimes manifested as ghostly hounds that guard the dens. And when an elder dies, the pack gathers for the last run, a ritual of mourning so intense that the skies themselves seem to tremble. Survivors build a cairn of bone and scale over their fallen alpha, then abandon the territory forever. An elder dog dragon's lair is usually a vast subterranean den beneath a wind-scoured hill, a lonely tor, or the ruins of an ancient fortress reclaimed by nature. It is marked by scent altars, carved stone obelisks rubbed with the dragon's bile and saliva, exuding enchantments that function as wards, beacons, and memory nodes. The tunnels are warm and dry, lined with spiral arrangements of bones serving as memorials. A great central chamber opens to the night sky through a ragged vent, letting the moonlight pour down upon the dragon's resting form. Even while the elder sleeps, its lair remains aware, stirring mists to confuse intruders, carrying illusionary howls through unseen vents, and projecting the presence of phantom hounds. Within 100 miles of such a lair, the region itself bears the dragon's mark. The air carries emotion. The travellers taste nostalgia or sorrow upon the wind. Breezes often form harmonic howls like distant choruses, and during the full moon, they can be heard even underwater or deep in the Underdark. Beasts, especially wolves and dogs, grow more social and cooperative, forming protective packs that defend local communities against fiends or undead. Those marked by the dog-dragon scent may find themselves slipping between planes, stepping into the ethereal reflection of the world, the spirit realm known as the Hound's Veil. When an elder dies, these phenomena collapse violently. Storms of sound rage for days, spectral hounds vanish, and all who bore this dragon scent mark forget its face. A dog dragon's traits and abilities reflect its nature. It will never abandon an ally it recognizes as kin, fighting to the death to defend its pack. It can read the emotional history of any place or object by scent, as if reading a book written in memory and feeling. Its roar, the howl of dominion, can subdue beasts, hounds, and even lesser dragons. The breath it exhales can form an invisible barrier of scent that confuses, repels, or drives away undead. During full moons, it can vanish in argent light, migrating instantly to another lair, or even to celestial realms where ancient packs still roam. Even in death, a dog dragon spirit may linger as a guardian over its lair and kin, remaining for centuries before it's finally released by the light of Selûne or the blessings of Bahamut's faithful. The only known living scholar to have recorded direct contact with an elder dog dragon is Saralyn Duskbrow, an elven druid of Evermeet. In her journals, she describes a hound of the skies whose howl opened the veil of the spirit world, and though through it I glimpsed the moonlit hunt that rides forever between the stars. She believed that dog dragons now guard the lost souls that drift between planes, the eternal pack, ever hunting the nightmares that stalk the dreams of gods. My name is AJ Pickett, your Sage of Candlekeep. Please subscribe if you like what I do and want to hear more. There are many other specific breeds of domestic and temple dogs to be found in the Forgotten Realms. I certainly missed a few, but as mentioned, the base stats for the Mastiff cover most medium to large breeds if you need to wing it and homebrew something interesting together on the fly. For example, the marsh folk of Cormier might have bred a water dog capable of surviving the petrification of the Catoplebis, which would make sense as they kind of herd them and milk them to make their infamously good death cheese, known across the entire continent and beyond. As always, thanks for listening, and I'll be back with more for you very soon.